eventually. There it is. And we are live, so we may get some viewers to the show, people that want to live through it twice. And if I could, John, give me a mic check.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
Jeff.
Hello, and hey, hello to Jeff McKinney. I know you're watching.
Michael, can you give me a quick mic check?
Check. 1, 2, 3. Check.
All right, we're looking good there. I think I will bump John up just
really. My frozen peas keeping my volume back.
Yes, it is all the frozen peas.
And tell John, tell whoever's texting you to leave you alone.
I have no idea who that is.
All right, I gotta throw some dogs out of the room here and close my door, so give me 1 second here.
Okay. So, Mike, I actually do this from my old phone. I've killed 2 computers doing the show, so I do it right over my cell phone. So, yeah, sometimes I get texts and stuff.
I hear you. Where are you broadcasting from?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, cool. All right.
And because my phone overheats, I lean my phone against it used to be a bag of frozen peas. Now I just use one of those tiny little cooler packs that you get when your mom sends you refrigerated food in the mail. Well, what? What do you want me to say? My mom sent me some stuff that we're going to make kipples with in the mail.
That's awesome.
But what I really want you to say is, hey, Jeff, I finally broke down and got a new computer.
Sharon's actually bugging me to go get one because she thinks I need to be up to date for you guys. So one of these days when I'm not passed out on the brewery floor from working 9 days in a row, I'll go do that.
Okay. All right, let's do this. So Michael can get to bed. All right. So here we go.
Hi, all. This is Wen, aka Green Lake Girl from Twitter. And tonight, hashtag When Does We Like Drinking podcast, where you never drink alone.
At the sound of the tone, the official We Like Drinking time will be 5 o'clock. Commence consumption.
Thank you for joining us for the award-winning We Like Drinking podcast, episode 202. In this episode, we'll be discussing brewing for a cause, changes at the top of the Fantasy Football League standings, and we're going to help you build the ultimate advent calendar with our guest, who I'll announce later. So crack open your beer, uncork that wine, and let's get drinking! All right, listeners, I am excited about this. It is the week of Thanksgiving. We are primed for it. We are here to give you an excellent way into the holidays. But before we get to that, let me just first start and say welcome to the only 2-time award-winning topical beer and wine education podcast focusing on, what is it, Jeff Solomon?
Fun.
That's right. We like to have a little bit of fun on the show. If you're listening for the first time or the 100th or the 202nd, and you'd like to help our show out a little bit, considering visit welikedrinking.com/pledge to find out how you can help us out through our Patreon program. Now let's get to this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's find out who we're drinking with and what we're drinking. We're joined by our usual panel members. We have Jeff Solomon.
I'm a guy.
We have our commercial brewer, John Ruyek.
Hey.
And finally, I am your host, Jeff Eccles. Our guest tonight is the author of Drinking with St. Nick, The Sinner's Guide to a Holy Happy Hour, and The Politically Incorrect Guide to Insanity. His latest book, Drinking with St. Nick, I messed that all up. Hold on a second.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The Sinner's Guide to Holy Happy Hour. What is that? What is the first title of that one?
All right, so there are a couple of things. There's Drinking with the Saints, the Sinner's Guide to a Holy Happy Hour.
Yes.
And Drinking with Saint Nick, Christmas Cocktails for Sinners and Saints.
Yeah.
And then there's also the Politically Incorrect Guide to Christianity.
Yes.
Some might say insanity, but I would prefer Christianity.
Yes, I when I was writing my note, I apologize. When I was writing my note, I started off with your current book, and then I said, no, I'm going to change it, and I forgot to change the title of that. So let me try that again. I apologize.
My favorite part is all of this is staying in.
No. Just all right. Let's try that.
Cutting room floor.
Yeah. All right. Hold on.
Keep it all.
Our guest tonight is the author of Drinking with the Saints, The Sinner's Guide to a Holy Happy Hour, and The Politically Incorrect Guide to Christianity. His latest book, Drinking with Saint Nick, Christmas Cocktails for Sinners and Saints, was released in October of this year, just in time to get your liver primed for the holidays. He is the son of an Irish-German father and a French-Canadian mother, so he grew up taking Catholicism and drinking very seriously. Please help us welcome Michael Foley. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Hey, thanks so much. It's great to be on.
Absolutely. We had to cut some stuff out, but Michael is already aware of what a professional show we are. So so we're going to do things a little different. Normally we talk about what we're drinking right off the bat, and I want to do that, but I just want everybody to know that all of our drinks tonight come straight out of Drinking with Saint Nick.
Oh, I am honored.
So we're plugging already. We should need a dinger for every time we plug the book tonight. So Jeff Solomon, I'm a double dip of plug here, Jeff Solomon. So why don't you take us out?
Oh, certainly. So I was really excited as I was flipping through this. Like, I love Christmas as much as any other not that very religious American. And so as I'm flipping through this, like I'm just loving all the different stories behind all these different ways that you could celebrate all these different days. But I have this tendency, Mr. Foley, where I tend to make things about myself. So here I am in Gilroy, California, living very close to San Jose. And if you know anything about San Jose,
I do. I went to Santa Clara University.
There you go. You know. Then you totally know. Highway 87 is also known as...
fill me in. I'm
Guadalupe Expressway. So the thing is, like, Guadalupe and Our Lady of Guadalupe is everywhere in Santa Clara County. So I couldn't help but gravitate towards December 12th and honoring Our Lady of Guadalupe. I am drinking Four Roses single barrel bourbon, and I'm mixing that in a cocktail. I'm mixing it in as what we call around these parts. It's a Rosarita, which is a Four Roses bourbon with margarita mix. And I happen to have some margarita mix that April Wachtel from Swig and Swallow had sent to us. You'll notice my margarita mix looks a little bit brown right now because it's really cool. These bottles, they come halfway full and then you fill it up with the booze. I got it in a nice, beautiful crystal glass with a big globe of ice, and I topped it off with some tonic water, and this is fantabulous.
Okay, that's going in the sequel. That I was not aware of that. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Isn't that margarita blend phenomenal?
It's great. I will say these Swig and Swallows come a little bit sweet. So I think it is a good idea to have like some tonic water or some soda water, or just pour a little bit of extra booze in there, and I think you're going to be all right.
I like how you are able to bring three guests together in one drink. We
should have like the all-star panel. That would be great.
All right, John Ruyak, what are you drinking?
I'm having an 11 Pipers Piping.
Nice. Yes. So what goes in that one?
Well, if you want to find out what goes in that, buy the book through our affiliate link. So to help everybody out. No, so I had to make a little bit of adjustments. So I didn't want to buy a full bottle of bubbly. Sharon's getting over a cold, so we really couldn't drink it through dinner. And I don't know that sparkling wine really goes with homemade chicken noodle soup. But so I got some La Marca Prosecco in the single, and I don't have any Cointreau because I use Cointreau in my orange chocolate walnut biscottis, but I do have some Grand Marnier.
Excellent.
And then so pretty close, little different flavor profile, and then cranberry juice. So mix those things together, and this is my second glass.
Excellent.
Excellent. Michael, are you drinking anything with us this evening?
I am, but I kind of feel like an ass because I'm not drinking from Drinking with Saint Nick. I decided to go with the original book, Drinking with the Saints.
Okay.
Today is the feast of Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. And so there's a very light cocktail called an Isabella, which is her name, which is also Elizabeth. And it is grenadine, creme de cassis, and soda water. So it's a very light drink. It's 9:30 where I am. My in-laws are visiting. I started on the heavier stuff at 5 o'clock.
Awesome. All right. And let's see, I believe it is December 4th is the drink I am going with. It is December 4th. St. Barbara is this one. A fantastic one. So the gist of this one is that her own father beheaded her.
Yes.
And as he was riding home, what's that?
Not a good daddy.
No, not a good dad. As he was riding home from the fun, he was struck and killed by lightning. So she is a saint of, get this, St. Barbara is also the patron saint of armorers, artillerymen, bomb technicians, cannoneers, fireworks manufacturers, gunners, ordnance, the U.S. Army field artillery, miners, tunnelers, and so forth. And in honor of all that fun, I am having a French 75.
Nice. That's one of my favorite champagne cocktails.
It is also one of my favorite. I have a Casa de Valor Cava Brut here. I have some local to Colorado Springs Lee's Spirits gin, little simple syrup, some lemon juice in there as well, topped off with the cava, and it is just delicious. So to St. Barbara, I'll be making this again on the 4th, apparently. Okay. So
wouldn't that be a Spanish 75 then?
No. So listeners, if you're interested in checking this book out, you can, John mentioned it earlier, you can visit welikedrinking.com/affiliates. And we've got a link in there to get to Michael's book. Michael, where is the best place for people to find you on social media? Is it Instagram? Is it Twitter? Is it Facebook? Which one is your go-to?
Facebook is usually the best. I have a Drinking with the Saints Facebook page. Yep. I also have a drinkingwiththesaints.com website. Okay.
So we're going to give you those now, and we'll give them to you in a little bit. But we're about ready. Everybody's drinking now. I can see everybody drinking. Everybody is killing brain cells. So let's test them with a little bit we like to call grape, hop, or pop culture reference. So this is where I give these guys a term, and they try to tell me if it's a wine grape, a beer hop, or some kind of pop culture reference. The term this week is Melagris Galapavo. So let me try that again. Melagris Galapavo. There we go. All right. I'm using a horrible accent on that, so don't let that sway you in any way, shape, or form. All right, so I believe we're up to John Ruyak starting as he's throwing things on his phone and microphone. John.
You know, John, why did you bought 4 splits? You may as well have gotten a whole bottle, dude.
I got 2 splits. Mr. Eccles, would you be so kind as to spell that for us, please?
I would. I like that Michael is he has something growing off his shoulder there. It's
Did you see my wife? She's checking in on me.
It just reminded me of that newscaster. Did you ever see that where the news?
She was just commenting on that. She was going to do the dive bomb. Just for you, actually.
And the kid and the little girl comes strutting in. Yes, John, it is MELEAGRIS is the first word. The second is GALLOPAVO.
Okay, I was Melagrease. I mean, it's like that's almost like black grease, like black sweet Galapavo something. It's a grape. It's got to be a grape.
Okay.
And it might be a grape that's used in communion wine.
Oh, there you go. Michael, any thoughts on, is this a wine grape, a beer hop, or a pop culture reference?
Definitely Latin is not a pop culture reference, so I'm going to rule that one out.
Okay.
I happen to know that Galapavo means turkey in Latin.
Oh, that's right.
But I still can't, like, what do turkeys have to do with grape varietals or hops? I'm going to say grape.
Okay.
A turkey likes the grape. I don't know.
All right. I saved the biology teacher last for a reason. So, Jeff Solomon.
I mean, honestly, like, is it really something as simple as, like, this is how you say Happy Thanksgiving in a particular language? No, not even. Or like Thanksgiving turkey or something like that. The Melagrease is really getting me because that means gray. And like, yeah, it's probably a gray Thanksgiving turkey. It's like an overcooked turkey. That's what that is. It's a pop culture reference.
All right. So we have 2 for grape, even though Michael knew that it was turkey. It's 2 for grape, 1 for pop culture reference. This is, in fact, a pop culture reference. Very good. It is Thanksgiving week. This is the scientific name for turkey. I believe it is.
Oh, okay.
It may be for a wild turkey. But
oh, my goodness. So Melagrease is the genus. Why didn't you? So the Galapavo.
It was like a capital M.
Yeah, you should have said lowercase g in Galapavo and underline everything. And it's all italicized. Now I have to ask if it was italicized. Jeez, man.
Melagrease Galapavo. So you're
thanks to Michael for the assist, because honestly, I was like, I think pavo means duck, and then like.
So you're saying, Jeff Solomon, I would not have gotten full credit for my answer if I had turned that in for you too.
I mean, not if we just had a discussion about binomial nomenclature. I'd give it back to you and say, do it again. Okay. You're close, but fix it.
All right.
Fix it.
Okay. All right. So now, Michael, let's get to the book. All right. So Drinking with Saint Nick, Christmas cocktails for sinners and saints. Thank you for including us in there. So let's just start off easy. How big is your liquor cabinet?
It's more than quadrupled. When I first started researching this, my wife and I had been just sort of standard cocktail drinkers. We had enough for Manhattans and martinis. But researching the book, it was incredible, the expansion of our liquor cabinet. Because you got ingredients that you only use twice a year.
Yeah.
It only calls for like 1 ounce, and then it just sits there on the shelf for the rest of the year. It's insanely inefficient, but it's still fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I made the comment to the guys of like, I'm sitting down looking through the book, and I'm just like, and oh my gosh, the amount of information in here is just insane. And you think this is a fairly small book. What it's like 6 by 8.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is like information dense. But then I'm looking through and I'm like, I was trying to add up in my head how much all of this would cost if I got everything, every single ingredient in the book. I think I lost track at about $6,000.
Well, when I told my wife about the book idea, she had stepped out for the evening. She came back. I said, honey, I got this great idea for a book. I explained it to her. And her very first reaction was, excellent. Now all our booze is tax deductible.
That's all I was thinking.
So, I think the rest of the guys too, but I have a lot of books on making drinks in my house. And the thing that I really find interesting that I like about this one is all the explanations. And so this goes through, what is it, the first through the 20, it goes from December 1st to January 5th, I think, through the whole thing.
Feast of the Epiphany, right?
Yep.
But there's not only is there information on every day and how it relates back to a Catholic saint or something along those lines, but it also has multiple drinks for each day. And if you're not a cocktail drinker, what beers or wines can go with each one. So really, you've laid out this formula for serving every drinker at the party. And then you have interesting the last calls and everything else that goes into it. So how difficult was it to come up with these drinks and really pair them with a saint for every day that you're looking at?
Yeah, that was the big challenge. I had to research the biography of a saint to find some kind of catch to a beer, wine, or cocktail. Oftentimes with the European saints, I could just map it onto their region, especially the French saints. Man, that was easy because every region of France has some kind of connection to a famous wine. But sometimes it'd be more remote, like a symbol in Christian art, like a pomegranate that I would map onto grenadine or something like that. My favorite was being a little bit impish. So Mother Ann Seton, for example, is one of the first canonized American saints. She was around at the time of the American Revolution, but I discovered that her family were actually British loyalists. So for her, I assigned the cocktail the Benedict Arnold.
That's good. Jeff?
Oh my goodness. Maybe we should go into a little bit of the background. So I liken cocktails a little bit. How do we get to the point where we want to start making a cocktail book surrounding Catholicism, bringing in, all your other books before this?
Well, as you may know, the Catholicism and alcohol have gone hand in hand for many centuries, so that wasn't a problem. But my wife and I enjoy an evening cocktail. We also enjoy observing the church calendar. So it was only a matter of time before we brought the two together. And it's a lot easier to make a cocktail in honor of a saint than to bake a cake or do some kind of fancy meal for it. So sort of a simple way of doing things.
So so here I am coming from way out here. Is there essentially a day to honor a saint every single day of the year, or is it particularly around certain times of the year?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's almost every day of the year. There are still a few blank days on the calendar, and that's why in the original book, Drinking with the Saints, I don't have a book for a cocktail or a drink for every day of the year, but I at least staggered it to every other day of the year, because in the church calendar it follows the Hebrew reckoning of time, so the day begins the evening before. So you could start drinking on the vigil of the feast, double down, and then celebrate again the next day.
That's what I'm talking about. It's the Hanukkah rule.
Absolutely.
For all you Gentiles looking at the calendar, if you don't know, it's the night before.
Absolutely. Sundown, the cocktails come up.
That's right. John.
I was just, I just leafed through a lot of stuff, and I think it would be cool to party with Maria von Trapp I mean, this Christmas punch looks like it would just like put everybody on the floor.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, I was kind of, I kind of cringed a little bit on the Feast of the Circumcision. Like, really? A Bloody Mary?
Yeah.
Come on.
I did not promise I would be tasteful in this book.
There's a difference between being tasty and tasteful, right?
That's right.
Yeah, but who doesn't love a good Bloody Mary? I mean, come on.
Oh, I mean, it's just so much. It's hard. It was really hard for me to wrap my mind around, all the research that you had to do regarding all these saints, and consulting different bartenders and places for these cocktails. Did it take longer, less time? What was your expectation on how to actually get this done, and were you able to meet your goals at all for that? Or
I was, and the first book really broke the ice, Drinking with the Saints, and I was able to complete that within a year. And what I did was have a group of about 30 friends across the country, and every Monday I would have written the saints profiles and the drink ideas for the week, and I would ask them to give me feedback. And I had some very eager collaborators.
Imagine that.
Yeah, so it made the second book a lot easier.
So you had a framework already.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice.
And then by the time the second book was written, I had a Facebook page. And so when I came to certain parts of Advent or Christmas where I was just having trouble, I just posted on Facebook, do you have any ideas? And we did a contest. The person who had the best ideas would get, free Drinking with the Saints merchandise. And I got some really good feedback. So they've all been incorporated into the book and acknowledged.
So are there, I gather that there's no Icelandic saints.
Oh, I don't know during the Advent and Christmas. I think they may be in the main book.
There's no Icelandic saints because I was really hoping that, a beer with smoked whale testicles would be.
Are there smoked whale testicles in Norway and Sweden? I think I got some Norwegian and Swedish saints in there.
Okay.
Smoked sea creatures go great with a bris. So maybe back to the.
That's not where the word dork comes from.
Whenever we get a guest to say that term, I always feel like when you get your parent to say a cuss word or to swear or something.
You know what it's like? It's like on Saturday Night Live, every time somebody enters the 5 Timers Club, it's like one of those things. Like we got a velvet jacket coming your way now. So.
All right, excellent.
A velvet jacket.
You quoted me on the Feast of the Circumcision, so who am I to judge?
Right. Okay, so Michael, I like the preface of your book as well, and I wanted to get that across to our listeners on how exactly do we drink like a saint?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that preface. I wrote it after I finished the first book, because these were lessons I learned from, quite frankly, a lot of researching during the course of the first book. And I realized that it's not just what to drink, it's how to drink. And one of the things I love about you guys is the idea of never drinking alone. One of the things I say about how to drink like a saint is you need to drink not just to have fun, but with a real sense of merriment. And merriment is different from fun because it involves fellowship. It involves friends. It involves getting together and toasting to good memories. So there are lessons in healthy drinking out there.
Absolutely, and it's a really good touch point to start everything off with. And so with yours, we have in moderation, obvious as the first one, with gratitude, as you said, with memory, as you said, with merriment, and with ritual. And the ritual part is where we come into like the toasts that we have, right? And so you have some really good ones in here. So I guess is there a favorite toast that you have from the book, or just in your own personal life?
That's a good question. I'm Irish, so I like Irish toast. They're usually pretty cheeky.
Yes.
For the holidays, just a simple wassail. That's the old English term for to your health. It also becomes a form of a Christmas punch. But a simple wassail is a good way to do it. It doesn't so much matter what you're toasting to, but that you're toasting.
Okay.
Because when you toast, it turns an amorphous get-together into a real event. It crystallizes the focus, and it gives you a reason to celebrate. And I think we moderns, we're just kind of drifting along in the cosmos. There's a lot of loss of meaning in our day and age. A toast crystallizes the meaning, it focuses it, and I think that's important in these days.
Excellent. John or Jeff, anything?
I got all goosebumpy when he went with
that.
Yeah,
I thought that was great, Michael.
I didn't want to get too serious.
Oh, no, that's cool. I mean, I work at a very small brewery. We have 25 seats, but it's a community inside. I mean, it never gets beyond being a community, no matter how many people are in there. It's there's always something happening, open mic, guitar players or comedians or karaoke night, but it's always almost everybody's involved. It's very, very seldom that tables become entities of themselves. Everybody's still all part of the group. And I think that's one of the cool things about, the craft brewing culture, or to your point, drinking like a saint, having the ritual part of the experience, making it not just catching a buzz, but
that's right.
But creating if for lack of a better term, a communal experience.
That's exactly right. And the communal experience involves good memories, a sense of gratitude, and also just good conversation. I mean, one of the reasons why I encourage moderation is not because I'm a prude, but when you eat or drink to excess, you start to get a diminishing return on your investments. But when you drink in moderation, you loosen the tongue just enough for friendly conversation without having it reel away entirely from rational thought. So, you want to hit that sweet spot that you're not drinking to get buzzed, but the buzz is there to facilitate greater camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point earlier, Eccles, we're not killing brain cells. We're weeding out the weak ones.
Survival of the fittest, right?
Right.
There you go.
They never deserved to live to begin with.
Jeff, anything else?
Mike Foley.
So Mike, let me just prepare you. This is where Jeff tells you how to do your job better.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Write books better.
How dare you? Not at all. I have a serious question.
All right.
Mike Foley, do you have any relatives that were professional wrestlers?
You're not the first person to ask me that.
Okay, I'm just saying, because when your cousin, he would jump off of the top of the cage, like through a table, and then hit himself with a chair. That was nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if you were going to suggest a patron saint of insane wrestling stunts.
Oh yeah. All right, I got an answer for that.
Oh, I want to hear it.
Yeah, I know. It's just so easy, Jeff.
Yes.
First of all, I agree with you. Foley's be crazy. I'm not denying that. But I would say the patron saint of insane wrestling is Saint Ambrose, who was an early church father. He was a bishop, but he actually used wrestling, Greek wrestling, as the perfect example of the Christian life, because the Greek wrestlers stripped down naked and they covered themselves in oil so that their enemy couldn't grab hold of them. They were like a greased pig. And he says that's what a Christian should be like with the devil. Strip yourself of your temporal attachments, clothe yourself in the oil of the sacraments, and the devil won't be able to pin you down. So, patron saint of insane wrestling right there.
That's
didn't
awesome.
Didn't I hear that line in Nacho Libre?
So then what's the drink that goes with that?
Oh, well, St. Ambrose is in the book, Drinking with St. Nick, and I got Balcones Distilling right here in Waco, Texas. They make fantastic whiskeys. They have a liquor called a rumble, which is not rum. It's made instead of being made with sugar cane, it's made with figs, wild honey, and brown turbinado sugar. And it's fantastic. And so Balcones invented this cocktail for me called the Rumbling Honeybee, which we have for St. Ambrose, and it's marvelous.
Nice.
Wow.
I need to get a bottle of that stuff.
Right?
It's so good. It's magic in a bottle. It's got all the local flavors. You mix it with honey simple syrup and lemon juice, and it's an amazing cocktail.
Nice.
That does sound good. Damn, that does sound good.
Let's all think about that for
Right. Right.
All right. So here's what you need to do.
Okay.
No, just joking. That was fantastic.
So now the hardest question. I won't ask you if you have a favorite child, but I will ask you out of this book if you do have a favorite cocktail.
Yeah.
Out of the 60 plus recipes that are in there.
Yeah. Okay. I mentioned Balcones. They've got 3 original recipes in the book. They're all fantastic. I recommend them. But I think my favorite is on December 8th, Feast of the Immaculate Conception of the Virgin Mary. It's called the White Lady.
Oh, yes. I saw that one.
Now, I had a version of the White Lady. White Lady is like a pre-Prohibition era cocktail, and so there are several versions of it. I came out with a simple version of the White Lady in Drinking with the Saints. I had a priest friend call me up and say, yeah, I saw your recipe. It was okay, but I got a better recipe. So I'm always getting correction from my my spiritual directors. So he had this cocktail that he got from a book from the 50s or 60s. And it looked really high maintenance. You have to take egg white and beat it for 5 minutes before you even put it into the shaker. And at the end of the day, I want a simple cocktail. I can just shake it 40 times, pour it, be done with it. So I thought this was a little high maintenance, but I thought I'm going to humor him, see if it's worth the effort. It is worth the effort.
All right.
It is sublime. It's strong. It's an ounce of gin, an ounce of vodka, an ounce of Cointreau, powdered sugar, lemon juice. But the balance of it is extraordinary. It is a sublime drink. So the White Lady, wow. If I really had to impress somebody and I didn't care about the preparation, I would always serve a White Lady.
Wow. That sounds awesome. It was great. As soon as you started saying White Lady, like I flipped to it like, okay, December 8th. And I'm looking and you go, I've got this simple recipe. And I go, simple?
Well, as you know, we're sort of in a golden age of cocktails, and with that comes a certain competition.
Oh, yeah.
So new recipes tend to be so complicated. And I respect that, but by the same token, I'm writing a book that I want to be able to reach the average person.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go too low, but there's a way in which I don't want to be too esoteric. And so this is kind of on the boundaries because it does involve more preparation, but like I say, it's worth it.
You know what? I am going to go out of my way this December 8th to make a White Lady.
I am as well.
You deserve it.
I do. In honor of, yeah. Oh, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to impress my dad. My dad converted to Catholicism like 8 years ago. So I'll show him.
All right, guys, any last questions for Michael before we move on?
I'm good.
Well, could you lead us in a toast just for all these wonderful drinks and for your book?
Well, all right. Well, I'll just say very simply, gentlemen, to your health and holiness.
To your health and holiness.
To your health and holiness.
Yeah, to your health and holiness. Thank you.
All right, Michael finished his drink, so we better get moving on. Michael, is there anything that we by chance missed that you wanted to talk about, or anything that else you want to add before we move on?
That's a good question. No, I think we're good. Okay. You can like and follow the Facebook page, Drinking with the Saints. We post different recipes and new ideas, and the book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all over the place.
All over the place. Excellent. All right. So, Michael, we're going to move on with the rest of the show now. You're off the hot seat, if you will. I don't think we ever ask really any difficult questions on here. But so we're going to move on with the rest of the show. So just feel free to join in. You're just part of the panel now, so just have fun with it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right. So let's get into Booze News, where we discuss interesting, noteworthy, or sometimes some actually pretty amazing stuff. So, Jeff Solomon.
Yeah, last week, we're in the middle of doing a Tempranillo tasting, and somehow I went off on a tangent. I don't know how that happened, but
never happened.
I was talking about, California is still engulfed in smoke. The campfire in Butte County is 66% contained, estimated to be fully contained about 11 days from now. And one of the things I was kind of pleading is like, if you can think of anything that you can do to help anybody affected with any of these fires, whether you're talking about what's going on in Northern California, Southern California, and in general, the thing that we often overlook is how much, humanity really shines in the wake of disasters like this. I was kind of privileged to see that as a little kid during the 1989 earthquake, just how many people stepped up, and so I was just so heartened to see a couple of days ago, Sierra Nevada, originally housed in Chico, California, in Butte County. They are releasing a Resilience Butte County Proud IPA. They're brewing it on the 27th. So as of this recording and as of this release, they're going to brew it later this month to be released. 100% of the proceeds are going to campfire relief. So to help the families that are, God, I was looking at, it's like 10,000 homes lost. So take how many average people live in a home, and that's how many more people are homeless today from something like that. Ken Grossman of Sierra Nevada was quoted as saying, our community has supported us for 38 years. This is the least that we can do. What's really neat about this, and obviously when I see this hit the shelves, I'm buying as much as I can. What's really neat about this is that he is procuring hops and malts, and he is sending them out to any brewery that wants to participate that he had contacted. There's a huge list of breweries that are also going to be making this Resilience as well. And just, the list is growing all the time, but some of your favorites like Altamont Beer Works, Alvarado Street Brewery, I saw Fieldworks was doing it, Russian River is doing it, Santa Cruz Mountain Brewing is doing it. So I was just really excited to see the brewing community step up with something like this. This is a beer definitely to get excited about, but even more so to know that it's going for a great cause. So if you see this should be coming out early December, mid-December. Please pick one up, pick up some for your friends, buy a keg if it's available, because it's all going to a great place. And I'm just really, really happy to see something like this happening.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that kegs will become available for that, here, that we could buy some, and help with that.
John, could you put in to brew it?
I don't. I've got a 3-barrel system. I don't know how I'd scale down the recipe that far. All those people that you're talking about, they've got 25-barrel systems minimum. So Yeah, I'd love to. That would be phenomenal, but I don't I don't know how I have enough trouble keeping up with what's going on in my own life. But we'd be certainly happy to, buy kegs and put it on tap.
Okay, that'd be cool if you guys could do something like that. Michael, I'm. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh yeah, it sounds great. It's nice to see a company being sort of socially responsible in that way.
Yeah, and I love that they're sharing the recipe that they're using. I mean, they're sharing everything about it and just saying we want as many people brewing this as possible. We want as many brewers putting this on the shelves as possible. And that they, I don't know if it's a requirement or just the ask, is that 100% of anybody that brews it, that the 100% of the money, the profits they make from it go to campfire relief.
Yeah. So folks, the brewers have stepped up. It is now up to the drinkers to make it work.
But this is true. Now it's time.
And honestly, can we do our part as drinkers? Buy them all up and demand a second round.
I think so.
I mean,
as long as it's good, and
I'm certain it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And shout out to all the malt suppliers and hop suppliers that are also stepping up to make sure that people get the ingredients that they need. Because that's I know John talks pretty often about how difficult it is to procure certain hops and malts at certain times, and so that's really nice that those folks are stepping up as well. And Sierra definitely has the clout to push some muscle around to make that happen.
Yep. Well, if when it comes out, we'll have to make sure we all have one on the show or something.
Yes,
like that.
Absolutely.
And Jeff, to your point, I mean, through these tragedies is when we really see humanity shine a lot, and it's great to see things like this. And it may seem trivial to some people, but really, it's an easy way for people to get their money into the hands of the people that need it. Obviously, you can go donate to worthy causes as well, but some people have problems with doing that. So this is just a different vehicle, and that's what we need. Is we need as many vehicles as possible to provide support to all these families that are going through yet again another horrible loss during this time of year. It seems like every year around this time we're talking about this kind of thing out in California.
Yeah. Everybody get your rakes out.
Come on.
Sorry.
I'm getting some email.
Okay. I'm fucking around.
Okay. All right. So look for that Resilience IPA, correct?
Yes. Resilience Butte County Proud IPA.
IPA from Sierra,
Nevada, and others.
Yeah. And
all.
Wouldn't it be cool if now is it going to be all labeled? It would be cool if you got a bottle from every single brewery that did it.
That would they all use
be
the
nice.
same label. That would be pretty cool.
These labels are looking pretty nice, and so I've got to envision that it's the same label, but then you'll have that brewed by stamp like on the back or something. I don't know. Maybe we can contact Altamont and Alvarado Street are pretty close to me, so I'll try to see if I can find out what's going on with that.
That'd be cool.
Michael, moving on. Michael, are you a big football fan?
I'm afraid I don't follow it very closely. It's been a while since I got in the loop.
He's French Canadian. He follows hockey.
John's a big Buffalo Sabres fan.
Low. That's very low.
All right, Jeff Solomon. It's honestly the part of the show I've been dreading the most, but bump.
Well, I talked to Big Game last week about how I was going to go on this amazing run, and I was so excited that even though I'm in like the middle ground in the standings, it's like my schedule was looking legit. I'm going up against Mr. Butt Destiny, who is in 12th place. What's up, Italian Mike? So I was like, there's no way I'm going to destroy this dude. And I'm like, I got the Eagles, going up against New Orleans. Like Carson Wentz is going to go off.
He did not.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the We Like Drinking Fantasy Football League, Carson Wentz with an implied game total of 27 points, he scored 0. And as we are recording this, it's the third quarter in the Chiefs-Rams game, and Mike has one Patrick Mahomes, who now has 40 points. I think he just threw a touchdown as I was talking. I'm so upset. Patrick Mahomes, how could you not love that dude?
Right.
He's got a funnier voice than I do, so that's awesome. So, anyways, the thing that's amazing is that Jeff Eccles is getting creamed this week. So you're losing out on first place. The only Sloan is dominating you. What happened to your team, dude?
It just fell apart this week. The best part is, like, the pre-game prediction was like 132 to like 115 or 107 for me. And like they kicked off the first game and everything fell apart.
And Smoked Whale Testicles, one John Ruyak, is being beaten by Natalie from Watsonville. Wind Down for What is it's already in the books.
It's over. Yeah, one's over.
It's already in the books. So
the 7-game winning streak is
you're
over.
done. I don't think anybody in the top, nobody in the top 8. Okay, except for Ryan Hannigan. No. Ryan Hannigan went off this week.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. So Ryan Hannigan won, and that's about it. Everybody else just got smoked.
No, there's this certain dude in an airport.
Oh, did he? Is Dimitri killing it?
He should win it, and that should vault him into the number 1 spot.
Oh wow!
I would have been in first place if Trubisky could have found Allen Robinson a few more times last night.
I love it when people say that. I only would have been in first place if I'd have scored more points. Take the L, bro. Take the L.
All right, wrap it up.
All right, that's it. Hey, man, I'm looking forward. This is going to be a crazy last 2 weeks of the regular fantasy football season. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, it is. Okay, that's enough. Michael, we got to wake Michael up. I think he may.
I'm here.
All right. Well, if we're finally done with the fantasy football talk, it must be
last call.
Last call. Time to clean house and lock the doors. You know what we do, folks, here? We're looking for your help in all the right places. So let's start with Michael. Let's walk through it again. If the people want to follow you on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Twitters, where can they find you?
They can find me on drinkingwiththesaints.com, and they can also find me on Facebook and Drinking with the Saints on Facebook. And there's also a DWS Saints for Twitter.
Yeah, I was looking at that one today. John Ruyak, if the people want to follow our show on the social medias, where can they find it?
Well, you've got We Like Drinking on Facebook. We Like Drinking the Tavern. That's where you have to, request to become part of the group, and we'll just say yes. We want you in there. But that's where the most fun can be had. There's We Like Drinking 1 on the Twitters, and We Like Drinking on Instagram.
John, where is this tavern group?
It's on Facebook, guys.
You just got to search. You got to give the knocks.
Yeah. Or you can go to welikedrinking.com/tavern and it'll take you right to it. The best part about the tavern, I'll give props to you on this, Jeff Solomon. Every Friday, sometimes Saturday, depends on how busy I am. I do a roll call where it's like, hey, share what you're drinking. Let us know what you're drinking, who you're drinking with, where you're at. It has become so popular in the tavern. Like when I don't do it, I don't do it, I like get complaints. They're like, "Hey, where's the roll call?" And we've approached 100 comments on some of these posts, and it's hard to keep up.
It's crazy because I remember saying like, dude, we need to do like a Friday night roll call. And you're like, what the heck's a roll call?
Nothing like that ever happened. No, honestly, the best part about the roll call is Jeff Solomon is not in it at all until the next morning where he's like, hey, here's my coffee.
Hey, it was coffee digested by a rodent and then foraged from the floor. It was delicious. It was musky.
Okay. Jeff Solomon, while you're talking, if the listeners have an opinion about our show, where can they go to let us know what they think?
Yeah. Here's 20 cents. Call someone who cares. No. Speaking of phones, you're probably listening to us on your phone right now. Take a look at the podcatcher app that you're listening to us from. Go ahead and scroll down until you see the area where you can give us a 5-star rating and a review. Do both of those things. And you know what? Tell your friends to do the same. I will also say this. Eccles thinks that people hate Apple Podcasts. People love Apple Podcasts, right? But if for some reason you're not an Apple Podcast listener, go ahead and download that app and you go ahead and you give us a rating there because it makes Jeff Eccles happy.
And that's really all we're out here for. So now, if you've been a smart person, you've gone to welikedrinking.com/affiliates, you've clicked on Drinking with Saint Nick, and you've purchased a copy of it. Michael?
Yes.
Is Amazon the best place to go to leave a review of what they think of your book, or is there anywhere else they can go to leave a stellar 5-star review of Drinking with Saint Nick?
I do think Amazon is the best place to give a review, and I'd like to give a promise to all your listeners out there.
Okay.
Contact me. You can do so through the Facebook page, and I can send you for free a signed book plate. A book plate is an adhesive label that you can attach to the gold front page right here, and you can tell me who you are, and I can personalize it to you.
Nice.
And wish you a Merry Christmas for free.
Excellent.
It's the next best thing to a signed copy.
I might have to order a second copy.
Yeah, no, please. Honestly, I'm very serious. There is no limit to the number of free book plates you can ask for. I had a lawyer in Denver who requested, I kid you not, 100 signed personalized book plates. He had 100 different people that I had to personalize it to, and I honored the request. So.
Wow.
Nice. I must say, Michael, Regnery Press, is that who did this? The presentation of this book is just phenomenal. This is just gorgeous.
And that's all that. They did everything in terms of the art and the formatting, and I couldn't be happier.
It is a beautiful book, as well as everything, even the like you're saying, the graphics that are inside it. It is just a beautiful book. Almost every single day has its own image to it. It's wonderful. Okay, so visit Amazon, buy the book, leave a review, and then if you're so inclined, if you bought 100 of his books, Michael's books, you've sent him to sign his name and wish you Merry Christmas 100 times on the plates. And you can get that through a feed. I'm sorry. What is the Facebook page again? Darn it, that's terrible.
Just Drinking with the Saints.
Drinking with the Saints. That's right. Drinking with the Saints. So find that up, like it, request it, and then if you've got a little money left over, if you got like $1 left over, head on over to welikedrinking.com/pledge to get to our Patreon page. You can sign up to be a donation, a helper of the show. You can get the after parties. Oh my God, the last 2 after parties. I was thinking, as I was driving home today, I got all mad at myself over the latest after party that we released. I really should have called it 2 thank yous and 4 skins. That would have been the best.
You can't change it retroactively.
I think I could go change it on Patreon. It won't make a difference there. But I was like, it's the Costanza T-Bone thing. And I should have named it that one. So if you want to hear what we have to say about 2 thank yous and 4 skins, you should become a Patreon of the show. All right, so that was a whole lot of information we gave you right there. So the best way to commit it to your memory is with movie quotes. So it's time for a bit we like to call Wait, Who Subscribed? Where I give these guys a quote from someone fictional or non-fictional, and they try to tell me what it's from. All right, so here we go. This week's, here it is. Holidays always depress me. I know what you mean. I went down to buy a turkey tree, and all they have are things for Christmas. For Christmas? Already? All right, so there it is. There's the quote. Now you guys have to try to tell us what it's from. I have to go with Jeff Solomon because it's his turn, but he looks way too confident in this. I'm kind of worried.
That's not confidence. That's called a Rosarita. That's what that is.
So no clue?
You know, is it... I'd love to hear what the other gentlemen on the panel have to say, because I'm honestly drawing a blank here.
All right, the Rosarita has done its magic. Michael has
I've never heard the phrase turkey tree in my life, so I am completely flummoxed.
All right, John, your kids are a little older. This one is still relevant.
Turkey tree.
Turkey tree.
You know, when you were doing the voices of it, it sounded like Cookie Monster at the end. So I thought maybe it was like.
No, I wasn't gonna. I can't do little kids' voices very well, so I didn't do. There's a little hint.
It's not Charlie Brown.
Is it Rugrats? Rugrats the
Hold
movie.
on. I've given the floor to Michael.
Is it? It's not Charlie Brown, is it?
Which
Charlie Brown Peanuts.
Which Charlie Brown?
Charlie Brown Christmas.
No.
Charlie.
What week is it?
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown.
Michael got it. It's a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Very well.
Credit. Yeah.
Excellent work.
Wow.
All right.
I don't remember that at all.
I was about to say Bad Santa, and I'm like, that can't be it.
All right. Moving on. You can also find the show notes for this episode with all the links to the stories or mentions we had at welikedrinking.com/podcast. Or if you're on your phone right now, just swipe right. All right. That was a lot of fun. But now it's the time where I get to say, okay, panel, let's take one last trip around this table and get some final thoughts before we shut off the lights. John Ruyak.
Hey, Eccles.
Yeah.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
We come up with a
just
recipe.
you and me?
No, it's for the show. We'll include Solomon.
Okay.
If we have to.
Okay.
We're gonna make a book with
Okay.
recipes for drinks.
Okay.
They all have smoked whale testicles in it.
So
we'll make $1 million.
So we're gonna print a page.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Jeff Solomon.
You know it's a good idea. He made $1 million.
Michael, any last thoughts before we let you get out of here?
You know, I just can't follow those two gentlemen. I mean, who can top that, you know?
I could pick some lint off my floor. Okay. Michael, thank you so much for taking time away from your family and out of your busy schedule to come on and talk to us about drinking with Saint Nick. It gave me an excuse to have a French 75. So already you're top notch. But this is a really interesting book. It's really fascinating. A lot of really cool information in here, and something I think would be good for people to have in their repertoire for the holidays.
Well, thank you so much. It's been such a delight. This has been a lovely conversation.
That's the first time that's ever been said about our show.
Exactly.
And with that, I'll say thanks again for joining us at the We Like Drinking podcast, where you'll never drink alone. Oh my goodness. That was fun.
That was
awesome. Great fun. Thank you so much, guys. That was awesome.
Absolutely. I know it's late for you, Michael, so feel free to cut out whenever you want. I will get this edited up sometime tomorrow, and I'll get links to you and your people sometime tomorrow morning or afternoon, depending on how things go. And then this will publish essentially Friday morning. I release it Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Mountain Time. So essentially Friday morning. It'll have links. I'll send you links. So when you guys want to share it, feel free to share it out. And I'm looking forward to making a lot of these drinks over the holidays. I know that.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Absolutely. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. You too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Wow, that was way more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Hold on a second.